welcome to another episode of Deep True Crime. I'm Manny Rodriguez. In today's episode, we're diving into a Be on the Lookout. You see, a man has killed a judge after the judge made a ruling on his case. And we're not too sure exactly all the details, but we do know that he is on the run. He knows they're looking for him. And why would he want to do this to the judge? Why would he want to basically take his whole life away? And so the suspect is accused of shooting the judge, Andrew Wilkinson. Andrew Wilkinson is only 52 years old, taken from this world way too soon. You see, the judge was gunned down outside his home just yesterday on Thursday. Let's go ahead and dive into what we know at this time. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Rest in peace to Judge Andrew Wilkinson, taken from this world way too soon. I just noticed that I left that text on there. And we are going to get rid of that. My apologies to the family that I did not catch that soon enough. So why would this man, Pedro Argote, who is said to have gunned down the judge after a ruling was set, and the judge who has been handling his divorce case since 2022. This has been an ongoing case. And so we're going to dive into what we know at this time as we see what's going on. They're looking for Pedro Argote, 49-year-old, who is said to have gunned down the Associate Circuit Court judge in the driveway of his West Maryland home at around 8 p.m. Thursday night. Now, this is today is Friday, October 20th. This would have been yesterday, October 19th of this video. Now, Argote, he remains at large. Be on the lookout. And the Washington County Sheriff's Office, they warned the public not to approach him and to contact if they have any information as to his whereabouts, to contact them because they consider him armed and dangerous. And he is described as 5'7", 130 pounds with black hair and brown eyes, and may be driving a silver 2009 Mercedes GL 450 displaying Maryland registration plates 4EH0408. Police say that this is what that car could look like that he is traveling in. Now, court documents, they show that Argote failed to attend this divorce hearing that was presided over by Wilkinson earlier in the day of the shooting yesterday, leading Wilkinson to rule that the father can have no visitation or any contact with his 4 children or wife. And so this must have set him off. If what they are saying out there, this must have set him off. In a press conference today, Sheriff Albert said that Wilkinson's wife and son were both inside their home in Hagerstown at the time of the shooting. Now, the judge would be rushed to the hospital with gunshot wounds, but he would later succumb to his injuries. Now, Sheriff Albert said that cops had responded to Argote's residence twice within the last 2 years for verbal domestic assaults, but did not hold any prior criminal record in Washington County. Now, even though the divorce case, it's believed to have been the motive in what Albert described as a targeted attack on Judge Wilkinson. Now, Argote was not in attendance at the hearing where he was banned from seeing his family. Now, he must have known that it wasn't going to be going his way. That is my guess. He had to know this was not going to be going his way, and so he did not show up. But how did he know this judge's address? My first guess is he must have followed him home. That's the only thing that I could personally think of. But he wasn't there at the hearing. At this hearing, he was banned from seeing his family. So my guess is he must have probably already knew that was coming. I could be wrong. Again, this is a new case. Now, Argote, he's still on the run, and police warn that he is considered dangerous and has a legally owned firearm. So he may have a gun that he is legally able to own. Now, he's a fugitive, so I don't know that he can legally own it anymore, my guess. Albert, she declined to provide any details over the firearm. I believe that's Albert, the sheriff. I believe. I could be wrong. In his judgment, the judge, he declared that this is not going to go well. He declared that you got to be away from it all. You got to stay away from your family. And, he ruled that Argote's wife will have sole use and possession of the family home that the family was living in. And now we know that, hey, why? Did this guy just snap? He's not known to have a record by any means. So did he just snap? That's what we don't even know as well. Because he had to follow him. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did he follow the judge home? Did he follow him from there? Because what we want to figure out is, why would he even want to kill the judge, lose his whole life, be away from his children, his whole family? Like, eventually this would have been figured out unless he did something more heinous than heinous can imagine. But eventually, my guess, this might have been figured out. But Judge Wilkinson, he ruled that Argote's wife will have sole use and possession of this family home that you see on your screen, and that he was not to enter the property at all. Now, Argote, he was also ordered to pay child support of $1,120 per month for their 4 children, which, I don't know what his income was going for, but 4 kids, $1,100 a month, that's actually pretty good. Now, born in Guam in 1971, Judge Wilkinson, he previously served as an assistant county attorney in Washington County from 2006 to 2012. And he served as an associate circuit court judge in Washington County since 2020. So he's only been there for about 3 years. He also served as a member of the State Board of Law Examiners Character Committee from 2006 to 2019. He is all judicial. He is a judge. His whole life was all in the system. He's always been around law enforcement in some way. Now, his profile on the court's website, it highlighted his work as a Little League Baseball and a youth soccer coach while he was an active member in his local church. This is a good guy. He was a good guy doing a lot of great things. And the worst part is that his family was inside the home while he was tragically being shot and killed in his driveway. And so, one judge, Administrative Judge Brett Wilson, shared that we are at a courthouse of 6 judges. That's what he told the New York Times. We all know each other very well. Now, Maryland state troopers, they were dispatched to the home that night afterwards. And so they were dispatched to the home in the area, and they remained until Friday morning, which Sheriff Albert said was taken at a precaution, just taken as a precaution. And there is no known threat to Maryland judicial officials. Now, it was said that when this happened, other law enforcement rushed to other judges' homes to make sure that this was, because at first they didn't know why, and then they started looking through all the cases, and that one stuck out big time. And so they were just taking precaution and making sure that, nothing else was going to get out of hand. And in a statement after the shooting, Maryland Judicial said that Wilkinson's death was a tragic loss. And he shared that as we grieve his loss, we ask that you keep the Wilkinson family in your prayers and please respect their privacy. The Maryland Judiciary is actively engaging with law enforcement to assist in resolving this matter and to ensure the safety of our judges, staff, and visitors, which remains our top priority. Remind you, they have not found this guy yet. He is still on the run. And, there is, when you stop and you think about it, there is no excuse for something like this to happen against anyone, especially an officer of the court who was doing what he felt was best for the family. And I'm sure that over time there would have been a way to make this amicable and get him back into his children's life. But this man lost it on a law, an enforcer of the law. And no one's perfect. Even if the judge messed up somehow, this would have probably ironed itself out. I don't really know this whole story. But if you think about people like Judge Wilkinson, who is a family law, right? He was handling this divorce case. He's going to do what's best. At least that's the goal, right? Always to do what's best for the children, what's best for the individuals involved in this relationship. But there is no reason that anything like this should ever happen. And so here he is, Pedro Argote, the father accused of shooting the judge dead in his driveway with his wife and son inside. This man once hailed gun shop and talked about how much of a big deal these gun shops are in a Facebook post from 2021. Now, so, we know that he legally owned a gun, right? But investigators, they said today that he had purchased that firearm used in the shooting legally. In a Facebook post 2 years ago, Argote hailed a Maryland gun shop for leaving him feeling at ease at the trigger. And he wrote, "The store have the knowledge and extensive experience needed with firearms to make anyone feel safe and at ease the very first time around. And even better, you'll leave feeling confident." That's what he wrote in a post from August 2021. And he said, "Trainings are fun and very dynamic, down to earth, straightforward customer service throughout the entire class, purchase and fingerprinting experience." So that's what he shared about his experience with this gun shop, which, sounds like the gun shop was great, but it also sounds like he got very comfortable with this gun. And now that he remains at large, the cops are telling you, be on the lookout. This man is armed and dangerous. Do not approach him. Okay? So this is key. Now, Sheriff Albert, as I shared, that, she said that they responded to Argote's residence twice within the last 2 years for verbal domestic assaults, but did not hold that he didn't have any prior criminal record. But now he knows how to use this gun. He's feeling comfortable with his gun. Now he's going to be a desperate man because he knows they're looking for him, right? Again, this is his face. This is the type of vehicle that he would be in. Okay, so it's important that we know what we're looking for, because a manhunt is underway for the 49-year-old Pedro Argote that is accused of fatally shooting Washington County Circuit Court. He's accused, right? We're going to find out all the evidence that they have right now. It doesn't look good for him. It does not look good for him because, again, hours earlier, he presided over a hearing in Pedro Argote's divorce case. And so then Thursday night, responding officers find Wilkinson suffering from multiple gunshot wounds in his driveway. And so he was rushed to Meritus Medical Center, where he would later die. And so, when you stop and you think about it, it's like, okay. Now, at first, he's just a person of interest. He's just a person of interest that they want to talk to, but we all know why. And why would he be missing, right? Now, Pedro lost custody, literally, hours before killing the pressing judge, Andrew Wilkinson. And that's when we learn about this from the press conference. Authorities said that hours before the killing, Judge Wilkinson was presiding over a divorce child custody hearing connected to the suspect, Pedro Argote. So, of course, anything that happens like this and a judge is involved, then you know that they're going to be doing this. And so, Pedro Argote versus Eugenia Argote. This has been going on since June 6th of 2022. And in the Washington Circuit Court, right? And so through that, that would make sense that it's like, okay, why was this such an angry guy? Literally. But he wasn't he? He was definitely upset. But I also believe that is something that they've been dealing with and why the wife was having problems with him. So, according to online court records, the divorce proceedings were initiated by the suspect, Pedro Argote. He initiated this divorce, okay, in June of 2022. Shortly after the shooting, the attorney Ashley Wilburn, representing the children in the divorce case, issues a statement praising the late judge. And Ashley shares, Judge Wilkinson was an amazing man, father, husband, and judge, and I am blessed to have known and worked with him. So this guy, a lot of people, I mean, they're heartbroken to know this, right? According to his court biography, he was born in Guam, as I shared, in 1971. He attended the University of North Carolina, UNC, before getting his law degree at Emory University. He had been an associate judge since 2020. He loved what he was doing, right? This is something that he truly enjoyed. He was around this his whole life. Why would Pedro want to go so far and do that? Right? And so, we know that people lose it, right? We know that people lose it. People lose it far too much, right? If we really had to stop and think about it, way too much. But after Judge Andrew Wilkinson signed an order barring Pedro Argote from contact with his children in this contentious divorce case, it's obvious he lost it. And again, I just feel like it would have been figured out. It would have been figured out over time. And now everything changes for Pedro. There is no going back. The question is, Pedro and his wife, they ran a digital advertising agency together. I don't know how successful, what it was, but they did work together. So they run this digital advertising agency, and word has it, according to court records, they were experiencing financial challenges. Okay? And so we find out about that as well. And which, of course, financial problems bring a lot of hiccups into marriages. We've heard that multiple times. And could that be something that went on in the marriage? Right? And now the police, they are searching hard for him. Again, 5'7", 130 pounds, black hair, brown eyes. And look for the silver Mercedes. He may still be driving that. Okay, but again, law enforcement says do not approach him at all. Do not approach him by any stretch of the imagination. Now, my guess is they're going to catch up with him. I'm hoping he doesn't do what a lot of people do when they feel like their life is over, unalive themselves. And so let's hope that it doesn't go to that point. We want to see justice. Personally, when someone takes their own life, I personally do not see justice in that at all. I don't see justice for the victims. I personally feel going to prison is a little more justice. But, to each his own on what you guys might think on that idea. I just feel, I don't know. It doesn't matter what I feel. This is not about me. Sometimes I get off. I like to interject a little of my thoughts, but I always got to keep in mind, this is not about me. You see, my friends, my goal is to be a voice for the victims. Because here's the truth. Judge Andrew, he didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve this. My friends, if you are a person of prayer, please pray that his family finds peace, that his family can find justice. And I'm sure that they cannot start the justice, the healing process until the person is caught and goes through the judicial system. But my gosh, my friends, there are things that sometimes we get angry, right? We get upset. Sometimes we want to lose our cool. Sometimes we want to punch a wall. Sometimes we have these different ways that us human beings handle stuff. But my gosh, you have to know yourself enough to know, please don't be capable of doing something like that. It doesn't need to be that bad. It doesn't need to be to that point. So I ask you, my friends, please, if you're a person of prayer, pray that we get justice for Judge Andrew and his family, who did not deserve this. That man was taken way too soon from this world. And now we wait to find out, when will they catch up with this guy, and what and when, and will he plead guilty? Will they have enough? But now it's a manhunt, and they say stay away from him, because he is a dangerous individual. And he is, again, armed and dangerous. So I think that is important to keep in mind through that, okay? So the Washington, Maryland County Sheriff's Office is asking you to please contact them if you know anything. So, as you know, they're looking for this man. And let us know what you think. Let us know what you think. My friends, be safe, be careful, be aware, be alert. At the end of the day, this is a crazy world that we live in, right? And we just have to be alert, be careful, be safe. But this should not happen. Rest in peace to Judge Andrew Wilkinson, taken from this world way too soon. Until next time, my friends, be safe. Peace.